Hi all, this is Janie, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the second installment on hand coloring your iDesign shapes. I created my first video, which you'll find the link to in the comments, called Hand Colored iDesign Shapes. So I tell you how to set up the black outlined shapes that are for sale in digitalspeaking.net store. Today I'm going to talk about first how to create your colors in your palette, and number two, how to make what I have found to be the best shading option for your design. With that, let's get started. So on my page, I've turned my page in my iPlanner, I have a beach ball from the Summer Fun collection that I manipulated, I guess is a good word for it, brought it down to just simply the black outline. On the right-hand page, you'll see a screenshot that I took from yokoboo.tumblr.com, and it's about shading. Now, she recommended the various colors in the shading, and I have to say I did try it, but please understand, I am by no means an artist. I mess around with stuff like this. I truly wish I'd listened in art class, but here we sit decades later. This is just for you to see, to get an idea of what an artist shaded element might look like. First, you have your point of light, and if for your point of light, and I'm just going to use an orange pencil, on each one of these balls, it would most likely be somewhere where I'm drawing the orange dot. You can see on the red one the lightest color space, and that's where the sun would be hitting it if it were to be shining over these particular shapes. There is no floor, no lower shadow. I just have to say that. But on the red ball, here's your lightly colored shape. Down here, you see your darker colored part of your image. Now, the reason I'm pointing that out is because I do this all the time. I tend to use black for shading. Black, however, is not optimum. There is nothing in nature that truly is shaded with black. Usually it's a darker color of itself. If you look at, for example, the blue ball, down at the bottom it's blue, purple, it's purple, pink, it's a rose color down at this end where you see the orange line being drawn. That said, it's rather difficult in Goodnotes to get that same effect. So I'm going to show you how to set up first your colors, and I like to color with my highlighter. You can use your pens, but I like my highlighter. And I'm going to show you what I did and how I played around with it to get a little less stripy appearance and a little more blended appearance in my image. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my basic color palette for my highlighter. So I'm going to select my highlighter, make sure Draw in Straight Line is toggled off, and I'm going to go to whatever's first. And I've added the colors from the hex code sheet that comes with the Summer Fun palette or Summer Fun collection so that I can get some of the same or similar colors in my designs that I have in my planner. I love the pinks and the purples, and I just like all that stuff. I've added a few extra, but that comes from playing around. So in order to add these colors to your highlighter palette, you have to select, I'm going to turn it off, Custom, and then I select, you can type in the hex code in the box that you see where it says HEX and a colon. That is where you would type in the hex code. So if you have, for example, FEFEFEFE, I have no idea what color that is, you would type that in, click the blue circle with the plus sign that says Add to Presets, and it would show up in your custom palette. Okay? Now, let's go back to our palette. Let's go to Presets. Let's say I've added on, just for practicality's sake, let's go up to my first row, and I have my yellow, very first yellow up at the top. I'm going to click on that. That was part of the original colors. I'm going to click on that. Well, maybe. Got the white check mark. And now I'm going to select custom. And it's in the add to presets box, so I don't need to add that one. But what I want to do is I want to create a shade quite a bit lighter. Yes, lighter. And there's a reason for that. So I'm going to go to my circle, and I am going to look, and I have a double circle now. I don't know what it's called, I'm sorry. The outer circle tells me where my color is on the color wheel. The inner circle tells me the shade. I'm going to very carefully place my Apple Pencil on that, and I'm going to drag it towards the outside as far as it can go, and then slightly to the left. And you can see it's getting a little bit lighter. That was an awful light yellow that we had initially. And it's going to get lighter and lighter. And I take it all the way around to where there's almost a gray outline on it. And then I drop it. And that should appear and add the presets. I've got the hex code in the box. So now I'm going to tap my blue circle with the plus sign. And I'm back at my presets. And it should be the very last one in my palette, and it is. It's down at the bottom. What I want to do, I don't know why I keep turning it off. Oh, since that just happened, please understand your pen color palette and your highlighter palette are two different palettes. When you add something to your highlighter palette, it does not immediately transfer, or doesn't transfer at all, into your pen colors. So no, and it also does not transfer to any of the other Goodnotes apps that you have. I know they all supposedly talk to each other, but you have to set everything up in each particular Goodnotes, be it on your MacBook, be it on your phone, or be it on your iPad. So now we have the light yellow, and again, it's at the very bottom, but I want it to be, since I want it associated with the first yellow, the very first color, I'm going to move it up there. I'm going to select Edit. Now I can tap on it, and I can drag it up next to that yellow, select Done, and it will stay there until I reset my palette. I can tell you I just lost a whole lot of work this morning by resetting my palette without thinking about it. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to color in one portion of this particular beach ball. One portion, one section, so it'll be 3 sections. And I'm going to select my darker color. Now this is opposite to what a lot of, for example, Copic marker people will tell you to do. And I'm going to take my largest, or my next to the largest, let's go largest, marker. I'm going to hold it down, and it is all the way at the largest size. I'm going to take it down just a little bit, and I'm just simply going to start coloring. So it's going to be a sunny, bright beach ball. And I'm going to color in my sections just quick, just so you can see. That's the first section, and I'll be back when they're all done. So I've colored in my 3 sections with my bright yellow, and it's really very, very happy color. I'm going to go back to my highlighter, select the color, and this time I'm going to select the lighter one. I would think, just let's keep in, by using the context of these balls on the right-hand side, my sun is coming from the upper left-hand corner. That would be up here. Okay. Now, that means that my light is going to be coming down, and the lightest part is going to be on this side. I just marked on my ball. So the darker part will be on the lower right-hand corner, which means it'll probably come And just so you can see, in kind of a half moon shape, like maybe, oh, I didn't want to do that. Maybe right here. Something along that line. So I'm going to be shading that part of my beach ball in a little more darkly. I've got my marker selected, and yes, it's a light one, and I'm going to bring it right up here. And I'm just going to color that section in. It is a little bit difficult to see. And I'm going to color it in on this side as well. And I'm going to stop right here for now. I don't know if it's going to show up on screen, but on my iPad, I can already see that it's getting darker. And now I'm going to do it a little lower. And I'm coloring into the black so you can see where I'm starting. And I'm going to color it again. One of the problems I've had with coloring is the stripiness. Again, lower on this side. And now I'm going to go another step lower. It depends on the size of my item, but I like to go in 3s and or 4s. And you can see, I hope, that it's getting progressively darker. Now, I'm going to come back over here with the smaller one and just a small line right there. I'm going to do it a couple times. By layering it like that, it gives you, it appears to be gradiating into the darker. I could have actually done, looking at the yellow one, I could have done something a little more orangey, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to finish my other sections, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so I have basically finished my beach ball, and up close it's pretty stripy. That's one of the reasons why I say it's important to do these big and then size them down. And you will see a difference when it comes down to actually a small versus large version of this particular beach ball. But there's one step left to finish it, and that's the final connect all the parts together shadow. For that, I'm going to make sure that I've engaged my highlighter, click on my color palette, and I'm going to go to Custom Palettes, and I'm going to use the boxes that are pictured here. And if you look, there's kind of a blue-violet. There's pink, there's purple, and then there's kind of a bluish violet all the way down at the bottom of that particular line. So it's the 1, 2, 3 from the right on the very lowest line of colors. I'm going to select that, and you can see it highlighted now, and I'm going to add that to my presets. I was, to be honest with you, talking to a friend of mine who's a professional artist, and she said a lot of times you can go, depending on the color tone, now these are cool colors, you can go with either a taupe or a gray, or you can go with a lilac. And since this does have purple, sorry, I'm going to go ahead and select this particular color. It's already selected. I'm going to go with I could go either the large or the medium, a little bit larger. And I'm going to take out in my margin and simply follow along the base of my beach ball. And I'd like it to go to kind of a point, if at all possible. And you can see that that's added a little bit of further darkening to that bottom layer of the beach ball. It does look stripy, I know that. Now, here's the last and final thing before we can use this as a hand-colored sticker. I'm going to select my lasso, and I'm going to make sure I've got handwriting and images toggled on, which I do. So I'm going to encircle my beach ball, and I'm going to select, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it over here because I wanted you to compare the two of them. Paste, and I'm going to size it way down. And now if you look at the beach balls, the one at the top, the small one, it really does from a distance look pretty well blended. The one at the bottom still looks stripy, but remember I said the larger it is, the more that striped appearance is going to show. Someday, if Goodnotes can add it to it, I would love for them to put in a smudge brush or even a way of just fading out these colors. Now all you've got is the highlighters and an eraser, and the eraser just doesn't do the trick. So that is how I'm starting to shade all of my designs, all of my iDesign shapes that are outlined in black. I use them like coloring book images, and I simply color them in using the highlighter. I would highly recommend not putting this black line in because I was playing around with it and it's virtually impossible to remove. So this beach ball is kind of stuck with that. But if what you could do is maybe put it where it starts and out to the side, just something, or even do it with the colors that you're going to be using, but even that will show up. So just be careful with using those lines. If you need them, great. If you don't, even better. Until next time, bye.